basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Therese on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artists or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with Javon and Therese. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with Javon and Therese. Yeah. Let's see who we got today or what we doing today or whatever it is, it's gonna be good. Woo!
I love you all so much.
Just the first thing that
Adam and Eve.
we can see you now.
I know, and thank God.
Yeah, that's generally the response we get from everybody, but we keep it clean.
Hey everybody, how you doing this morning? I am so glad that you are here. Hopefully you are here and I'm not just talking to myself. Rez will be on the way shortly. I see Gigi in the green room. I know Pop is up and Adam. Good morning to you, Pop. Good morning to you, Gigi. And you are watching and listening to Brunch in the Basement with Javon and Therese on WJBR Internet Radio, the best podcast on Saturday. And I'm not the only one that says that and thinks that. Hope you're ready to feed the soul with Javon and Therese and our third voice, Gigi, who will be bringing us some commentary regarding, the things that's going on in the world. I want to try something. Since Therese is not actually here yet, let me see if I can try something. I don't know. I don't know if I can do it. What I want to do, share screen, blah, blah. I want to see if I can share my page. Not my page, because I was trying to play music the other day and it just didn't work out right. So I was thinking if I could, share my screen, my regular, whatever screen, then, whatever's there, you could see it. But I don't know. Anyway, Gigi, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up if you can hear music, okay? I just want to make sure I get this piece of it correct. If I can find the damn music. It's always something with me. Tammy too much. Here we go. Let me see. You hear it well? It's low. That's why I want to get it up. I don't want to make it. Yeah, I don't know why that is. Okay. I'm going to try something else. Hold on. Because it's booming in my ear. I mean, booming in my ear. And there's so much going on politically right now and in the world. I just, we got to get to all of that. But I just wanted to do a little, see if I could share. Let's see if we can share. Well, internet radio, I can share that. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't want to just be silent. So what I'll do is I will bring Gigi on for right now, and we can just start talking about run through Tammy too much. I can't help it, Pop. That's me. So Gigi, I'm gonna let you take the floor. Are you on? Let me see. I don't know what I did here. Let's cancel that. It had to be. It had to be. Now I'm frozen. Look at that. I think I did too much. You're right, Pop. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. This thing is just spinning and spinning. I can't do anything right now. So I think I overdid it. Oh shit. Everybody went away. Hold on. Where y'all at? There you go. Okay. Anyway, couple of things on the agenda. You guys can hear me even though it looks like I'm stuck, right? Okay. So you can hear me. I still don't see Therese waiting up. Okay, now I'm moving, right? Okay. Here's Gigi.
Oh my goodness.
Run through.
Tammy too much.
Next time.
Tammy too much. Tammy too much. Tammy too much.
You know what? That's cool. That's cool. I don't care. I don't care. Sometimes, how you doing, Nathan? Sometimes y'all just gotta see the behind the scenes
Nathan.
stuff.
Hey, Pop.
So
Happy
now
Saturday.
I'm a little concerned because I had downloaded some stuff that I wanted to share on the political topics. Okay, and before we spoke about the things that we're going to speak about, and here's Therese. Good morning, sunshine.
Happy Saturday!
Happy Saturday! Grand Rising!
Yeah.
So before we talk about those things, I really, really want to see if I can, get this to show the videos that I wanted to show. But
you're frozen again.
I'm frozen again. I don't know what's going on. I didn't even do anything, and I don't like the way I'm frozen. I look like I'm gonna eat you, and not in a good way. So why don't y'all just tell us how your week has been? How are you before we get into the world?
Go ahead, Raz.
Oh, okay. I'm actually good today. Looking forward to today. Out of all the, when I start to really, really think about you guys, it's notorious every Wednesday night, because there's usually something that I'm doing that gets me to the television around then, and then I'll go, and then Thursday it's like, oh no, I got to write this down. Then by Friday I completely forget about what I wrote down to want to discuss, at least to chuckle at. And then Saturday morning, it's like, okay, I know Gigi got these politics. She's going to have to help me through it. So I didn't break no television sets this week.
Good.
Nothing.
Good thing.
But I do have a lot of questions.
This week is crazy. It is definitely starting. It is, man, listen, like Javon said before, the last time it was every day. It is definitely every day. It's just, I was up late and I was writing some stuff out, and I was just like, I could just keep turning pages just in the last couple of days. So I said, no, I'm just going to do about 5 bullet points and we'll take it from there.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Little one? It's about Lady Eloise. It's like a 1 in 1A question, right? So at first it has to do with, now that the sentencing hearings are done, now not that he can't appeal to the cows come home again, because it's just going to be like what is afforded to him is miraculous.
It's the money.
Does he have to register? That's all I want to know. Does he have to register?
You know what's so interesting about that? In all of the things I've listened to and read, I have not seen anything about that.
Now,
But I would say no, because
no,
I would say no, because technically it's unconditional. There was nothing. He didn't even get a slap on the wrist. It was all technicality. I do understand why, of course, why the judge ended up having to do it the way he did, because what do you do with someone that is about to be sworn in as the president in 9 days? What do you do? It's not like you can't lock him up, you can't put him in, he can't be out there sweeping corners, no
he
community
can
service, he
register.
doesn't have any probation. Mind you, he met with a probation officer, which I thought was interesting that they said that he did do that, but he's not on probation. I think they tried to go through as many of the legal pieces as possible to make it look as if the system is the same. But this morning, when I was in the bed, because I woke up as I always do, 6 a.m., doesn't matter what day of the week it is, and I was just thinking to myself, so, justice is blind is bullshit, because it doesn't apply. In this instance, it's really showing us it doesn't, right? Because if you're rich, if you're white, if you're a male, if you have connections, none of those things apply when it comes to being a Black male or woman in America. So, and an average middle class or poor person. So,
Yeah, but what's interesting about this? Say the next person that has a similar, see, now that he has set precedents before the bench, right? See, people don't understand, once you get near that bench and your case gets marked in that as either final or whatever the appeal is, or whatever the finality. See, when you keep appealing the finality of it all, right?
yes.
But once that, let's just say it's final, now that case becomes part of what could be. So the next person that comes up, their attorney can pull that record and cite those cases or cite those instances in that case where things were allowed, right? So now they become common man's argument, because it's like your attorney, thank you, Eloise, has already done the work on it. So now the case is public. So you can take that same argument and apply it anywhere.
Well, it's going to be applied to the next whatever presidents.
Oh no, not necessarily president.
But I understand what you're saying. But there are certain people that are above the law in this country, period. And we just found out who. And even though, once something is done legally, I understand what you're saying. It sets precedents. But the ruling went through, and he said, when the judge made the quote unquote sentencing, if you want to call it that, he said it's not the person, it is the seat of the presidency that makes us make this ruling, that there will be no conditions, like you will not go to jail, there will be no penalty, but it's because of the seat of the presidency. So because he made that clear, then going forward, any president can go back to this particular thing. If you are not the president, you cannot argue with your 34 felonies. Well, Trump got away with it. Yeah, but that's because the judge ruled, it is not the person, it is the chair of the
position.
Yeah. So that's the
thing.
Who
do I write to find out whether or not he's going to have to register?
Well, what do you mean register for what? Maybe I should ask that question.
Central Registry requires any offenders to go on the state registry for essay offenders. They have to register. They have
but this case has to do with the fraud. It's not about the essay. And that essay was only for civil, not criminal.
So that's
so no.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Yeah,
This
so
is all about the fraud case
the
of
sexual abuse
But
trial
he does that. He was found guilty in.
civilly.
he was found civilly liable,
That's it.
but not guilty of rape.
Correct.
What the judge did say, though, is that in layman's terms, it's the same thing. He did rape her. However, legally, he is civilly liable for sexual abuse.
That's it.
So when you get a criminal conviction for sexual abuse or rape or anything like that, then you have to register.
Right.
But this is a civil suit. This is not the
Yeah.
state going against him saying that he raped somebody and da 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 da. This is this woman suing him for sexual abuse. And she won her claim. And I think it might be because criminally there's a statute of limitations.
Yes,
and
it was a
that's why-
statute.
Wow.
And that's why, like, she didn't, but then again, she didn't come forward for like 20-umpteen years. Now, you might then think, well, what happened with the Cosby situation? These people came forward 20-some umpteen years later, right? All of these things happened in the 70s and 80s. And then, but I think the prosecutors in Cosby's situation, he had made deals with these women and non-disclosure stuff, but they left a loophole open, and it was through that loophole that they were able to go back, and then they got Cosby. And even though people think that he got out early, he did his 3 years, which was the amount of time he was supposed to do anyway. So he didn't get out early, Mr. Cosby. So let's just be clear.
Well, the thing with E. Jean Carroll is she was never going after him criminally to begin with. And from what I hear is that most of with her was she never wanted her parents to know. And so she never said anything. She waited to write the book after they had passed. And because he came after her because of the book is the only reason she pushed back, and it came out to be civilly. So this was never about her going after him criminally because she just wanted to, just like most women, just let it go and forget about it, right? But she wrote her book, and she came out in her book regarding it, and he came after her because of that. So that's why she pushed back.
So, Pop, you say that he can still vote?
He can still vote.
But can't own a gun and will have to turn over DNA sample.
Yes, I was about to talk about that.
Interesting.
Yes.
See, it's almost like some things apply and some don't. And now, because of the felonies, he has liquor licenses and any other license that you have that says you can't have a felony. Why he would have them in his name, I don't know, or whatever. I mean, I guess you have to, whoever's, I don't know why, that's weird to me, but they have him on temporary status. So the ABC board for his properties now has to review it to find out whether or not, because you're not allowed to have that. And you're really not allowed to have felonies with guns either. So I guess that don't apply to him either, huh?
No, he can't own a gun. So he can't. But he could vote. And he lives in Florida. Mind you, wasn't it DeSantis that started having his militia go pick up people from their house and then arresting them?
Hello.
Even though they were told they could legally vote?
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So, you said, did you have another question or?
Not on that. I just.
I know you just want to throw that away. You was like, I'm done. I know. So let's get a little bit of some other news. So some other news, some of the things that Biden did. Yeah, let's do a little bit of so much bad stuff. But Biden did do this. He extended the temporary protection status for countries that were expiring. So they were supposed to expire. It was the end of this year, which of course now that end of 2024. So now that, of course, Captain Chaos is coming into the White House, he made sure to sign. Yeah, I'm definitely. That is the best. When they put that is the best name for him. He is chaos all day long. And so I was looking that one up. So it's about 900,000 people that will be protected through 2026, of which are a lot of countries: El Salvador, Sudan, Ukraine, Venezuela, Syria, Haiti. So these people will be protected under TPS, temporary protective status. So they cannot be thrown out of the country during that time. But we do know that, unfortunately, with the man that Captain Chaos has put in place, he doesn't even seem to care about any of that. He won't care about any of that.
So what's the rule of thumb? Once somebody writes it, you can't undo it, or can you get in there and undo it?
He cannot, but they just do whatever they want to.
Basically.
Right. So at this point, you can't even say yes or no to any of this stuff anymore. That's just how I feel. And him getting in the presidency as a felon tells us that. It just tells us that. Because things that were precedent are no longer that. Things that made sense in law no longer make any sense. So, right, he shouldn't be able to have these people thrown out by ICE. But does that mean that he won't do it? No.
That's an interesting point, Pop. Because he doesn't get along with her, allegedly. But what you think him and Obama was talking about it at Jimmy's
I
funeral?
know.
I know. But you know what? Here's the thing with that. Obama is so smooth and cool and like.
I mean, at Jimmy Carter's funeral, what would you expect him to do? Act a fool, cuss him out, punch him in the throat?
He's not gonna do that.
No.
You know, Melania is more likely to not speak to him during the funeral, which she did, and
she didn't.
He knew better than to talk to her.
And neither did Pence's wife, right, honey? She was like, "Oh, is there a fly up there?" Honey, she ignored him.
He's back get any straighter though. He looked. There's one thing, you can read a Black woman from across the room. Her back was so straight. She turned, when she gave that one look, as she turned back, it was all in her face. Poor Doug. He just looks like, listen, just don't nobody hit my wife. That's it. I'll be in between it. But what do you think they were talking about?
I think he just seemed very thirsty to me. Like he didn't even sit down good. And look at Bush. He came. I mean, what was his name that came through? And it was Bush, right? That hit Obama in the stomach, like, "Yo, what's up, dog?" Right? And then he kept on going. But he just seemed so thirsty. Like, and Obama was just being, who knows what he was saying. I know when he got home, he had to answer to Michelle to that, though, when she saw it.
That's who's obviously not trying to be anywhere near any of that. God bless you, Jimmy. She probably said her prayers from the house. Y'all can go ahead for that shit show.
Yeah, exactly. And she would have been sitting next to him like last time. And I guess that she was like, "Not this time. I ain't doing it." Because you notice all the wives were to the left of the husband. So meant she would have been the one sitting next to him. So she was like, "Nope." Because the last time they were together, she was sitting next to him. So I guess she was like, "Hell to the nah to the nah."
Hell to the no.
Man.
So I know when she got home, I was thinking about that segment. Y'all was probably like, "Come sit down here. What was that? Explain, Lucy. What was that conversation?" Yes. For real. And her daughters were probably sitting there too going, "Daddy, yeah, we want to know what the hell was going on. What did he say?"
You know, you have your loud friend, or maybe not because y'all have decorum, but you know how you go into the movies with somebody who saw the movie already, who's going to talk to you during the movie while you're trying to watch it. That's what he felt like to me. And I'm like, and he's carrying on, just leaning in and talking like, you know, everybody is cute. And it's like, nobody likes you, sir. Like,
no.
Are you
He must be the church because he don't know how he's supposed to perform in church because he doesn't go. Dude, we had a funeral in a church. Shut up.
Oh my God. What'd you say? Michelle was still in Hawaii and saw the seating chart at the funeral and stayed away. Facts. Facts.
She's like, you got this, hubby. You got this. I ain't going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the body language. I'm telling you, when she looked back, that quick glance back.
Yeah.
Your VP's back was
straight up.
Yeah, she was.
You know what that means.
But I really think that Pence's wife, for me, was the one that was the funniest. She just ignored his ass. Pence got up. He was like, all right, you go ahead and shake his hand if you want to. He didn't threaten your life and sat there and watched it and called us on. And you, nah, I'm not, dude, you got this on your own.
And then he stands directly in your face. And, you know, and it's going to be, you know, like, he may as well just shrug his shoulders coming in there and just like, if we had saw somebody, I'd be like, oh, okay. Because he really does not care about none of them.
No.
Not them, their laws, what they represent, none of them.
That man's brain is broke. It is broke. So, let's see.
So, hold up. Let me just, Jesus.
You got something to come up?
Yeah, I wanted to just at least show, because y'all are talking about the funeral. The funeral. So I wanted to show
Jimmy Carter's grandson was his speech to his grandfather was beautiful. I liked it.
I wanted to show a little bit of what, in case people didn't see what y'all were talking about. See if I can.
Although I wasn't as politically inclined, I liked him as a president. I thought that he made sense for the country in a realistic way.
Nash, y'all see that? Yeah, y'all can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Just move it up a little bit.
Ah, there they are.
Was leading the way for the family and his father into church that day.
You know,
I remember his speech very well, and remember how stoic he was through the whole thing until the very end, because that was obviously a huge loss. They were very close, and the whole family was there as well. We have noticed that Barack Obama and is President-elect Trump. I was going to say former president, but also President-elect Trump, having a chance to catch up there as they sit next to each other.
There are 11 brothers.
She is straight up not for it.
All of them are Jimmy Carter's grandchildren. Some of them considered honorary. Some will have a hand on the casket as it goes into the National Cathedral. And Brett Baer is still riding shotgun with us today. And Brett, we're kind of balancing a lot of stories today, and appreciate you coming back here. Think about Carter's life, U.S. Naval Academy, Annapolis.
Look at Melania.
Right, what does she have on?
And then
Why
the time that he spent
as
president, very controversial, I would argue. You think about when his term in office ended and the American hostages who were held.
Barack was like, I told you to get over there, act the fool.
144 days were
released. This ain't gonna fly, Donnie.
Ronald Reagan on January 20th that day in 1981.
Doug is like,
ushered
if
in
they
a whole
start
new
fighting,
era
I'll
in
just
American
move out of the way.
Barack,
please keep it
and
down.
even if you think about
that's
today,
how you look at people in the movie
the New
theater,
York Times.
Yep.
There is a long article today
if he
about
mentions
how
my wife's name
Democratic
again, I have to say something.
Since Jimmy
probably
Carter
talking about it right next
have had to defend their own service to America, their own commitment to strength. And they point out exclusively how Hillary Clinton repeatedly used the word strong and strength when she was trying to capture the White House in 2016. And the legacy of Jimmy Carter for some is very complicated.
I'm using Fox as the
not
source.
Just as president, but in his post-presidency also.
America usually does give a second chance to their presidents in terms of re-election, Brett.
So don't say nothing else.
Jimmy
Just look
Carter's
straight.
case, and then of
Don't say
course in
nothing else
Joe
to me.
Biden's. Not the case, and President-elect Trump coming back for a second term.
As you look at that image of the
I bet
living
you
presidents,
did mention her name,
these
though.
are moments.
That's why Doug turned around.
Only
Now
happen
I have
ever
to-
so often,
oh
as you
my
mentioned,
God.
2018, the last time. And
can you find the one where they stood up and they had all of them had their hand to their chest? Because I noticed that Captain Chaos was the only one.
Check this out.
That
I'm going to show you how I afford.
I think when I saw that picture.
Well, you know what? Where are we? Where am I? Who am I?
Our monologue is funny though, right?
He must have mentioned her name because they were talking the whole while, right? And all of a sudden, Doug turned around like, what?
I had them all prepared, but that was definitely not the one I wanted to show. I had some clips, and I still have the clips. It's just that this system is not allowing me to, do what it is I intended to do. But
so how many countries can he not go to? I think I sent you something, Jay, in your inbox, because I was as I came across it, I started laughing.
My inbox where? Oh, on
yeah, I could go to it on
Instagram.
Yeah, because the interesting thing is, as a felon, a lot of countries will not let you in. Period. This is their rule of the country. They'll turn you around. I know Canada is one.
Let me see if I can show y'all this. This is a pretty good one. Hold on a second. Let me see. Somebody look at this. No.
38.
No, that's not. It's 38?
38. Faces banned in 38 countries as a felon. Convicted felon. 38.
Oh gosh.
Hold on. Oh Jesus.
He better not run out of gas in that plane of his while he's trying to get to one to the other.
Tell me about it. And yes, Canada, yes, it is one. Yes, Canada is one. Absolutely one. This picture says so much. And paid off a porn star behind her back. Was she there? Oh no, Melania. Okay.
Hold on, why isn't it? Tried to put her in prison, accused him of murder, said he was a secret Muslim, founder of ISIS, said she was pretending to be black, ended his entire family dynasty, almost got him unalived, tried to overthrow his presidency, and paid off a porn star behind her back.
I mean, sad. Yo, what the hell?
But it's true when you think about it. What he did to each and every one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And he's sitting next to, and he's wondering why nobody but Barack will talk to him. Well, Barack is just on a whole different plane.
Are you
they were
serious,
arguing on
Nathan?
MSNBC. They were arguing on MSNBC about it. Joe Scarborough and Mika were arguing with what is that guy named the black guy on MSNBC, the one that does the weekend with them. Man, they were going at it about that.
About what part?
About Barack and Chaos talking.
I just wanted him to tell us what he was talking about. Because
what were they saying though, Gigi?
Because so Joe was saying, well, we just need to be, he was doing it to be civil. And dang, I can't remember his name. He was saying, okay, so we need to be civil, but he doesn't ever need to be civil, and I got what he was
that's
saying.
Absolutely the truth.
At what point do we finally say F you and we don't care no more? Like, I got what he was saying, but so the two of them was going back and forth, and oh my gosh, it was bad. I was like, I hope he's gonna have a job tomorrow. I'm glad I got to see him on the weekend this morning. Because they even cutting black folk off the stage. I'm just saying. Because it's real tension.
This is interesting, Nathan. I didn't even think it is. Technically, as president, the State Department will issue the felon a diplomatic passport so he can go to places he would otherwise be barred from.
But but don't they deny the diplomats with felonies though?
Who?
I mean,
who?
Yeah,
Who?
Well, technically, it doesn't. You're technically it doesn't. I can only speak for Canada. That's the only one I know for sure, right? Doesn't matter if you're felony is felony. Doesn't matter if you're a diplomat or not. You know, it really doesn't. Technically, if you cannot enter their country if you have, like, technically, if you've been convicted, you may not even have a felony because they pull up your entire record. Like, bloop.
They could just bar you.
Yeah.
You know, ask Candace Owens.
I know, right?
They ain't got no record. It's like, nah, keep that junk over there in the United States. You can't come here with that.
Yeah, it's a sad situation.
Most definitely.
Yes, he is. Elisa, yes, he is. Very, yeah, I would agree. You know, very friendly and yeah, and probably all of that has nothing to do with the menace inside. Has nothing to do with the chaos, the level of chaos that he subscribes to and keeps going
every day. So we could discuss the, you know, and in regard to that chaos, with everything going on with the fires, he decides instead of taking the side of standing with the people of America and those that are trying to give comfort to them in that state, he decides he wants to again cause chaos, right? And discord and division. It's like, we don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I want to know, I would love for the president of the United States that's coming into that position to be a person of togetherness, like we did what happened with 9/11, right? This is big. Like, this is a whole freaking state is almost gone. And all you could think about is, it's his fault, it's her fault, it's their fault. You know, y'all should have been doing this, y'all should have been doing that. And not being the person. No, because he has no empathy for anybody.
And no solutions for anything but blame. That's the epitome of narcissism. You know, you avoid accountability. You play the blame game all day because it's anybody but you, and you don't have a capacity to problem solve or troubleshoot or be empathetic for any situation. He was the same man that threw paper towels in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Questioned God knows what about people's, you know, backstory. When you find out much to the contrary, you still, You and Fuliani are the same.
Yes.
Same. You know, he's still doubling down over there trying to figure out why. He's still trying to figure out why he's got to pay these women. Still.
He's in contempt, but I still feel like they're not doing what they need to do with that case either.
Yeah.
What you pulling up, Giovanni?
You know, I'm over here doing things. I'm listening. I'm paying attention.
I thought you was pulling up something.
Well, you know, I'm trying to pull up something without pulling up something.
Okay, so another good one for Biden is I don't know if you saw that he is putting in billions of dollars pertaining to getting rid of medical bills off of credit reports. I actually saw the person they were talking about it again this morning. So they will be getting rid of those medical bills, which is a good thing. That will help people because they recognize that again is a negative mark on your credit report, which can keep and hinder you from getting credit cards, getting your home. And especially now in the case of the housing industry with the insurance market, which is, it's crazy that we're having these issues or seeing more of the issues in the industry of insurance, housing insurance and health insurance, right? So here we have in the housing, 3 months ago, State Farm canceled thousands of policies. And yet now look at where all these people are. I don't know if y'all know, you know, being here in New Jersey, I have my home, we have a home under one and a car on another. So what I tried to do is combine, right? Either way, really didn't matter. And guess what I was told by both of them? they're not writing new policies. They're not. So my housing, I couldn't pull under. They're not writing new policies for cars right now under Allstate, and then Progressive is not writing any housing policies for Jersey right now. So I don't know what is going on with these industries when it comes to insurance market. We do know that State Farm has made the most money. The CEO of the company has made the most money that he's made in I don't know how long in 2024. But yet you canceled a lot of policies, and these people are now without homes. I'm still, investigating on how this is going to happen. FEMA does have a lot of money, but not enough to fix what's going on right now.
Definitely not. Definitely not. So they said to you that they're not willing to bundle your package. They don't want the bids. They don't want the money. Interesting.
No, they won't do it.
So I guess, but I guess, okay. So that doesn't apply to new people purchasing new vehicles, I'm sure. Is this just auto?
That on the Progressive, they are not writing any. I'm grandfathered in with Allstate, right where my house sits. Meaning, right. So I wanted to move them over to where my car is under Progressive. Meaning, I'm good with the house, but they're not writing any new home at all. And then Progressive is saying the same thing. They're not writing any new housing insurance under Progressive.
Interesting. So what they know is what do they know that's coming this way?
I think. Well, I'll tell you this. Remember, we had the earthquakes over here. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Minor, but they still were. When something happened in the back of our house, probably a couple of days before that happened, our sewer. We had the people come out. Can't even tell you how. Oh my God, ridiculous. So then we were like, oh, now literally the next day. So then maybe the second day there was the earthquake that happened. We call. I'm saying, hey, I didn't know that I had actually written into our policy a part that had to do with the sewer, even outside of the home. I had that part covered, but because of the earthquake that happened, they wouldn't cover it.
That's Allstate. That's Allstate.
I'm like, but he didn't say it had anything to do with the earthquake. He's saying it was corrosion. It was happened from the line, which I had covered in my policy. Nope. They would not do it.
And where it's required, then don't make it mandatory to have insurance then.
What's the point?
Yeah. You're paying all this money, and then when it comes time down for a claim, they'll find every reason not to want to honor it.
They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay.
And it is like a monopoly chokehold. It really is.
Because
what do? You can't drop your policy until you have another one in its place. And then what they do is they review all the other stuff behind the veil that was going on with the house before they even decide they want to accept you. So if that's the last thing that went up, they're like, oh, by the way, we know you had an outstanding thing with sewage, so you can't transfer that over here.
Right. Exactly, because now I have a case on there. So now, what about the people that are getting new homes? You can't even get a mortgage without insurance.
That's true.
And if you don't have cash to purchase, all that's doing when I'm thinking about California is you're talking about a bunch of companies coming in and buying all that land,
Hawaii,
of all those homes.
Hawaii.
Of all them homes that are now that are now demolished, if y'all you can't have insurance.
A lot of them didn't have insurance anyway, at least not fire insurance. I think there are levels to it's almost like when you have a car, you can just have liability and not have full coverage. A lot of them did not have fire insurance anyway, Interesting.
Right.
But we've seen this before, right? Didn't we see people come in after a large fire happened? Excuse me, and buy pieces of Maui?
Yeah.
And just wait. You buy the land and you just wait. Technically, unless you have an alloidal, what is it? The illusion of land ownership is just what it is. You don't really technically own anything. What you can do is they give you the right to fence it off. And this is with anybody. They give you the right to fence it off and call it yours temporarily. But the idea that you own the land, no. There has not been an alloidal, what do they call it? Alloidal deed since the war. And I'm talking about many, many wars back. The only way you can actually own something in this country and have it passed down to generations where it is untouchable is if it's an alloidal, what do they call it? It's an alloidal deed, basically. And they haven't given one of those out since whenever. What about people in North Carolina who live in the mountains and didn't have flood insurance, yet they got flooded? Yeah, right.
And the messed up thing about North Carolina is that, while FEMA was out there trying to help those residents out there, there were these people stopping FEMA from coming in, being violent towards FEMA. So it wasn't, and they were saying that FEMA wasn't there to help. It was just crazy. Just craziness.
And you're right. She's like 15 years, you never had an accident, you paying car insurance. Where's the money going? Right in their pocket, just like our health insurance. Onto their buying stock buybacks and all of that. Like, it's insane.
Bonuses on your back, baby. That's what it is. Because you should be, like, if you 15 years without an accident, whatever, you should be entitled to get some of that back as an incentive to continue with the company, because Lord knows their customer service is shot to shit, and I don't care which one you get.
Yeah,
it's all crazy. You're paying for the possibility of having to whatever, but
All right. So, did y'all hear about this story? This one is a hard one. White woman in Virginia breaks bones of NICU black babies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Twice.
Yeah.
That story, I don't even know how I felt. Like, of course, sad, but it's more anger than anything. It was the fact that they knew something was going on and she was gone. They brought her back after they put cameras and stuff just to see. It's like, her name was Erin Stratman.
So what kind of death penalty did she get?
She's in jail right now. She's in jail.
What was she trying to accomplish by doing this?
Hate.
It's like, yo, are you serious?
We're talking premature babies whose bones are already brittle. They're small, fighting for their lives. And you have to be a really sick, demented individual to hurt children. But premature babies, like, I can't even wrap it around my head at all.
Not just babies, black babies.
Black babies.
So that was intentional.
Oh, yeah. All intentional. All intentional.
And this hospital is now sitting under a plethora of lawsuits.
Oh, most definitely. They so let me get to that. Let me see. I was looking at it.
There should be a class.
Yeah, I think I sent that to you in Insta or something.
Blanket made for stress and anxiety, but
what'd you say?
I said, I think I sent it to you. The video about that lady.
I saw it on. I know you sent me a couple of things I pulled up on. Oh, maybe that was one, but I actually was watching it on. It was playing a lot on TikTok all week.
Yeah, I saw it on TikTok and shared that because that's just insane.
I was trying to post this link that I had on the chat, but it won't let me do it.
Speaking of posting a link, those of you watching, listening, please share the link to this show so that others will be privy to what we do here. And yeah.
That was
so all right. So had y'all heard about HR 7? So oh boy, I try to leave these other things to the end. So House Resolution 7 we already know that on January 3rd, that was when the new House representatives were introduced, right, to the House. On that same day, they introduced a resolution. So I'm going to read this, and I need everyone to listen closely to this. Recognizing the importance of access to comprehensive, high-quality, life-affirming medical care for women of all ages. First sentence, sounds good. Whereas women of all ages should have access to comprehensive, convenient, compassionate, life-affirming, high-quality medical services. Whereas all women should feel empowered and equipped with the knowledge to listen to their body and advocate for their health. Whereas healthcare for women should emphasize the whole woman, including her physical, mental, and spiritual wellness. All those things sound, yes, great. Whereas healthcare for women should also address the needs of men, families, and communities as they relate to women's health care. Reg, your face changed. Like, I try not to laugh because your face changed so quickly.
Read that again.
Whereas health care for women should also address the needs of men. Families, and communities as they relate to women's health care. There are about 3 more sentences after that goes back to the whereas women's health care should include access to social, They put that sentence smack dab in the middle.
The needs of fucking men. The needs of men, communities.
The needs of men, families, and communities.
See, families expect it under the.
What do you think that's about? So I want y'all's perspective in that sentence. And please, I want other people to please respond to that. Because when I read it, I had my own thoughts about that. So I want to hear others. Look, Javon's like, please read that again. So I'm waiting to hear Javon's perspective on that too.
That's a rapist society.
Basically.
That means that women actually have no rights.
Exactly. No autonomy over your own body.
No.
If I have to address it, I may need a minute. The needs of men. Since when?
Since this will probably begin the national ban on abortion.
Yep.
Address the needs of men.
That's right. Families and community. What I thought about was men, of course, that for them, we already know what that's about. The family I could see what you're saying, Rez, about the family, but the community part.
Not
the
even
community.
Not even husband.
No, men.
Men.
Yes, men. The community part reminds me of The Handmaid's Tale. I instantly went to The Handmaid's Tale. The beginning of The Handmaid's Tale. It was the community and the men in that community. Remember, it was all the men in that group, that cabinet, whatever you want to call them, that made the decisions in that show about how the women's body, what they wanted for the community. And the men made the decision that these women would have the babies and how they would raise the children and the education the children would get. The girls being separated from the boys, and then the girls were raised to become more handmaids, all came from the men for the community. This is real. You can pull it up. HR 7 for the 119th Congress has been now put on the floor.
These mofos are satanic.
They are.
The needs of men. So we have just become commodities overnight. No autonomy, no autonomy. They want to regulate and govern our existence.
Yes, they do.
They want to regulate and govern our existence. So then what does that mean for same gender loving households?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. But since you brought that up, that just goes right into my next thing. So let's see, I'm gonna pull this up for you. So we already know that they're gonna come for us, right? So on January 7th, 2025 at 3:17 p.m., Idaho resolution pushes to restore natural definition of marriage and ban same-sex unions. Representative Heather Scott proposed the measure that calls the 2015 decision from the nation's highest court to legalize same-sex marriage an illegitimate outreach. It asked the court to reinstate the natural definition of marriage, saying that it's between one man and one woman.
That's natural.
The committee moved Scott's proposal forward Tuesday, and it will return to the committee for a public hearing at a date yet to be set. If ultimately passed by the legislature, the statement, carrying only symbolic but not legal weight right now, would be sent to the Supreme Court.
That's for Idaho. Did you say that?
That was the Idaho, yes, but the beginning of them getting it back to the Supreme Court, because what their goal is, right? Because remember, this thing happened based on the ruling of Obergefell versus Hodges, right? Which is the landmark decision that allowed gay couples to wed across the country, even in states that still ban unions of people from same gender. The ruling also was widely recognized as a turning point for same-sex marriage. So if they get it back there.
So they seek to nullify them. Is that what they're saying? Or they're not going to do any new ones? What does that mean?
No, they want to reverse it.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's the goal. That is the goal.
Got it.
I saw a lawyer speaking about this on TikTok. She is an LGBT attorney, stating how this will affect families, especially those that have children, and the steps that they need to take to protect their families. Not that it would be 100%, because if they go all the way into nullifying marriages, then that would mean that, you know, birth certificates that have, like my grandson, he has both of his mother's names on the birth certificate. That would then illegitimize the non-birthing parents, right? Relationship with that child.
Many insurance policies that require
correct.
Well, that's a they ain't gonna be able to get away with that shit.
It's a whole lot that encompasses that. A whole lot.
They may be able to stop any further situations from happening, marriages from happening, but they will not be able to reverse what has been in place for like over. It hasn't been a decade yet.
It went in.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think it's about 10 over a little over 10 years. Yes.
20. It was
what is 2013?
2013, October 21st. You would think I would know this, right? Since I was one of the first couples to get married by Cory Booker. I should remember, right? October 21st, 2013.
Yeah. But then again, they've overturned Roe, which
that's
was
what I'm saying.
5 decades. It was over 50 years. They, you know, this society, you can't trust it. But
see, Nathan has it on there. That's right. And that black man that sits on the Supreme Court, if that's what you want to call him, he said it way back when he was part of reversing Roe, that they were coming for the gay and lesbian community.
Oh, he said it. Recriminalizing cases.
Yes.
Supreme Court.
That's it.
He even said something about conservatives to bring same-sex marriage and recriminalizing LGBTQ cases to SCOTUS.
Yeah.
That will start in states like
Idaho, first place. Yeah.
So now we'll be refugees of our own states. Some states.
I think it's a good thing we're at least in a blue state. I mean, let's see how much we need to start pushing back on our officials, and making sure that they're putting things in place to protect us. That's where we need to start.
Well, I do know in terms of businesses, New Jersey is the only state that does protect LGBT businesses. That's the only state that does legally on their books. Governor Murphy signed off on that a couple of months ago. But I don't get all this, and just going out of the way with as much as this country needs to focus on. You're turning your hate in-house first to have a civil war inside your own country just based on simple human rights. That's what you're.
But that's how you do it, though, Rez. That's how you destabilize a place. You create the chaos within. They don't. And the thing, I'm still reading the book that I got on Putin. I'm still reading that, right? And the first couple of chapters in there, that's exactly what it says. He doesn't have to do anything but start putting a lot of this disinformation and misinformation and allow America to destroy itself from the inside out. And then sit back and create alliances with other countries that don't like us. And then what do you get? What do you get then? You get us on the outside, which is what chaos is doing. He is creating nothing but that from country to country, which is formulating alliances and pushing us as the bad guys. If we get kicked out of NATO, who's going to protect us? If they decide that they want to say, you know what, we're sick of America. We're sick of everything that's going on with him and his BS and what he's doing. Then what happens to us?
Well, he doesn't want NATO anyway.
Right. And removing us from it. But why would you not? Why would you not want us in NATO? Because we're protected in NATO. and we protect other countries. We are an alliance together. But to remove us makes us vulnerable.
He doesn't think he doesn't think that anybody's going to come for us. Basically.
This isn't about what he thinks. He is working for them.
Yeah, he wants to be in alliance with those like Russia, with those countries, the communist countries, as opposed to the Democrat-leaning countries. That their thinking is that they together will conquer the world. That's right. What they are thinking.
He wants a country to be in position of that, because he thinks ultimately that he's going to be Captain Chaos of all of it.
Yeah,
with us outside, but that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work.
He's threatening our allies already. Right. It's ridiculous, and I think that most American citizens feel some kind of way about that. Most of us don't want to fight with Canada. We don't want to fight with Mexico. We don't want to fight with Greenland. And are you serious? For what? Because they won't sell you they won't allow you to play golf there anymore. So all of us have to now be at odds, like the whole country, Europe.
Right.
Are you serious? After millions of American soldiers gave their lives for this country, to protect this country for what they thought were, good reasons, whatever, fighting against foreign adversaries and all this other shit. And quite frankly, just to say it plain, because it is Saturday, and on Saturdays I like to say it plain.
This is the bullshit.
Just like if everybody could just mind their own fucking business, whether it be country to country, person to person, neighbor to neighbor, just you do you and I do me, and as long as I don't trespass on your shit, if I don't steal from you, then why we got beef?
Because there's some people that have a situation. Listen, first-hand knowledge. Some people just feel like they're entitled to know and to ask questions and do what they have not enough of their own business. Period.
Exactly. And guess what?
That's so true.
Not enough of their own business.
That's how all of the shenanigans start. But I just wanted to play this. I found a way to play some things. And yes, Pop, we will have a meeting after this. And I'll get my shit together a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to show this.
Leaving aside this specific sentence, leaving all of the sort of particularities of what happened today, the big picture is that we have somebody who is coming into office who is a convicted felon, where a jury has found him guilty of 34 felonies. He has now been sentenced. That has never happened in American history for our standing in the world. It is where we think of ourselves as this, shining beacon, and the rule of law being so paramount to what it means to be American and what we hold ourselves out to be. It, I think, is just dramatically changes that image of ourselves.
Yeah, America tends to think it's all high and mighty and above reproach, and that we are the beacon of the world and everyone should try to be like us. Pretty much our hand is exposed. Yeah. We have been shown as the low lives in
that we
the world. I think we are probably the only country with a convicted felon as the, soon to be leader, allegedly.
It's so interesting how some get the luxury of being able to describe America. We're like this beacon. I'm like, where? Like, there's so many different definitions and feelings about what America actually is based on the lens of your experience.
Correct.
This is true. And guess what? Whatever Americans, because I think Americans, and this is as an American, and I just look around, I think we're a bunch of cocky fucks, like sometimes we have this, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say things like, well, I know my rights.
Mm-hmm. Do you? They have a right to change them right up underneath you.
You know what I'm saying? Up until the point that I took a course in college, that was what the fuck was the name of it? It was constitutional. It was a constitutional law course I took in college, and we're reading all of these legal precedents that preceded the constitutional laws and why the laws came in and the amendments and all of the things that make people think we have rights. And like you said, Rez, about land ownership and how people think they own the land. It's only unless the government says they want that land back. You don't own shit.
Nope.
Honestly, I'm not going to get into this, but you don't really own your children. And I know people like, what? They
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
No.
Fafo. That's all I got to say about that. Understand the law.
Yet they owned.
Right.
Slaves.
Right. People were owned under the Constitution, and within the Constitution can still be owned. Pookie and them wearing the orange jumpsuits
owned
are enslaved.
Yes.
They have them out there helping with the fires right now too, right?
Absolutely.
I bet they are.
Absolutely. Yeah. At a rate drastically different, as are some Mexicans. Hello.
Right. I know.
Yes, and yes, Mexico too came over to help.
Okay for them to come do that, right?
Pop,
I'm
aware.
I'm aware.
Speaking of which, so Lady Eloise and the Muskrat.
Yeah, I can't with these people. I really can't.
And I don't even know what to call that one. The wannabe, whatever. Have decided that, and I think we probably touched on this last week. They want really smart people from India to come in and take
HB1 visas, yes,
and take some jobs, because Americans are not smart enough and trained enough and skilled enough. But yet we love the uneducated. and the reason why we love, this is it all play it
plays.
It all falls. See, I like the uneducated because y'all are dumb enough to put my ass in office. I could say anything and you will believe me. Even when I show you something different. Don't believe what you see, believe what I tell you. Okay? And once you put me in a position to really fuck you hard, I'm going to do it. And guess what? You'll never have to vote again. You know why? Because the freaky business that I did, it really worked this time. It really worked this time. And therefore, never again will the Democrats be in office. I promise you, there will not be another Democratic president.
I'm not even sure if there's going to be another election. I'm really not thinking. I'm serious.
Yeah. I don't know about that either. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
he said it wouldn't. He said we only got to vote this one more time.
Yeah, and I think
Christians, and you won't have to vote anymore.
But see, here's the thing. They won't have to vote anymore because the shit is rigged. Just like in Russia. They vote, they have what they think is a democratic. Well, they know better. They in Russia, they already know that they but those who actually go out and vote, they get killed. You get murdered. You get locked up in jail if and if you are of the opposition party to the leadership there, you see what happened to that man. That poor man, he was a good man. They locked him up. They killed him. That's the kind of, it's just, I don't know.
Break up, like he wants to make that
break up like the old. Yeah, well, He wants, what?
Wait till Wu-Tang find it out.
Yeah, because didn't they say that guy who mentioned about having the 51st and 52nd state, talking about Canada, we could have the what he said, the West will be the Republicans and the East will be, or something like that. He did say that.
It's just crazy, and I'm just afraid that whatever the Muskrat did, and I think it was the Muskrat along with some other people who infiltrated the systems, along with the help of some of the people that were supposed to be manning the stations, some of the election workers. We know it was election workers because he had the nerve to shout them out, some of them. And he had the nerve to say, yeah, we got some really good things. He can't even keep it to himself. He tells you what he's going to do. He tells you.
That's the reason why so many people were so angry with the fact that we just didn't get, and by we I mean Democrats, didn't get downright gangster about some of the stuff we were doing.
Just trying to. I don't understand. Stick to the law. The law don't work, clearly.
And you don't let it work. It don't apply to him. We don't push back. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't challenge the situation. We got two fools that over there acting all the way up, and telling it what so all this threatening posture you have for yours within, and most are allowed to run amok. And to a certain degree, it's kind of good to see, not feel or experience, but good to see, because it's embarrassing, because everything that was supposed to stand for some semblance of order does not. It does not. There's no order. It's complete chaos.
Yeah.
Complete chaos. So how do we live through the next 4 years? What are you thinking? Everybody got a legal gun registered owners? Okay, very good. Silky, are you frozen? Or are you not responding?
I'm just not responding.
You just said that and made me think about one of the judges that was denied. They doing that. You're saying we don't push back. Like there's one of the judges, I'm trying to see which state it was in. I've seen it. That they're trying not to seat in one of the states. I think it's in one of the Carolinas, probably.
Yeah.
They're always doing that. They've done that before.
Here is let me just give a shout out to Auntie Melba Moore, who will be our special guest next week.
Auntie Melba.
I'm also trying with Nathan's help to secure a councilwoman LGBT from Pennsylvania to come on during the first half of the show.
Mine too, Pop.
After all is said and done, there's a special place in hell for people like Giuliani and Lady Eloise, in my own opinion. And those are the views, information, and or opinions expressed during Brunch in the Basement series that are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of WJBR Internet. So yeah, Nathan, I will send her an email. I called and left her a message, so I had not heard back, but we'll work it out. I'm looking forward to this conversation. She is an out LGBTQ woman who won and turned over, flipped a seat blue in her district for the first time ever. And she is now exploring Congress for the future, a run for Congress. So as many people as we can get who are, politically inclined, I would love to get them on. Now, to help them continue to poison the minds, I'm saddened to say that Mr. Zuckerberg has fallen in line.
Mm-hmm.
And people, when I had posted on Facebook, now that Facebook is about to go dark, where's everybody going? What are we going to do? And people were like, well, what are you talking about? And so I wanted to show from his own mouth. So y'all just bear with me, and here's Mark.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. I started building social media to give people a voice. A lot has happened over the last several years. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political. Recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. We're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. We're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. Simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender. We're changing how we enforce our policies. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations, bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed, so we stopped recommending these posts. It's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. Now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it.
So here's Biden's take on that.
Mr. President, would you comment on Meta's decision to end its fact-checking operations in the United States? Is that a good decision in your opinion?
Well, look, the whole idea of walking away from fact-checking, I find to be just contrary to American justice, the way we talk about one another. Telling the truth matters. I mean, I know I'm on national television, but you all are local reporters and national reporters. This is not a real question, but what do you think? You think it doesn't matter that they let be printed where millions of people read it, things that are simply not true? I mean, I want to know what that's all about. It's just completely contrary to everything America's about. We want to tell the truth. We haven't always done it as a nation, but we want to tell the truth. And the idea that, a billionaire can buy something and say, by the way, from this point on, we're not gonna fact check anything. And when you have millions of people going online, reading this stuff, it is, anyway, I think it's really shameful.
We've lost language. Yeah. Words do not mean what they mean. Language is this means this. And when we lose it in a political landscape, where if you tell me, oh, this is a fantastic orange table, wow, I love it. Where did you get this orange table? If enough people believe that that's an orange table, we're in really big trouble,
Okay, but
Stephanie.
then isn't the answer...
So that's the fact.
Yes,
the fact is this is blue.
But then we can't give up on telling the truth. We can't give up.
You can never give up on it.
Okay, but right now some people are saying, there's alternative facts, and I'm in this camp or I'm in this camp.
By the way, that's fine, and they're entitled to that. The concern I have is that the most important thing that we have to protect is language, what things mean, and say, in recovery we have a phrase, say what you mean and mean what you say, just don't say it mean.
Oh.
And that's a way to be able to tell the truth and mean it, but not go after somebody. I'm not going to go after anybody for their beliefs here. It's not my business.
No one should.
No one should. But this is not orange. This is actually blue.
So this is one of the reasons why so many people voted the wrong way, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Because they believe the shit that they see and hear on social media. People have believed a bunch of lies, a bunch of rhetoric. And people believe people tend to go for what they want to believe.
Okay. All right. I'm hoping that all these like little decisions, and all these things that people are believing now that he's in office and afraid to stand their ground in something that they find to be, contribute to the community, i.e. fact checking. Well, we know that he wasn't doing that anyway. What is that? Do you hear that?
Saying?
Do you hear that crunching?
Oh, that?
Oh, that's
Daddy snack. Sorry.
No.
I got busted.
No. It's just, I just think that they need to really just reverse a lot of this stuff that he's talking about. Like, what is Mark Zuckerberg? Hands on your knees with knee pads for President Musk and Lady Eloise. Yeah, and to anything that kind of remotely resembles what X is doing over there, we already know. So at the end of the day, what are the platforms we can be seeking? Now is a prime opportunity to get rid of some of these accounts or clean up some of these accounts or jump to accounts that make sense where you can have a little more control of your content. But see, willy-nilly content anyway, that's what I call it. Willy-nilly content anyway, you have to be kind of discerning, because it wasn't like he was going to tell the truth. I don't care what platform he was on, whether they fact, you could have the facts. Isn't that what he's famous for, having the facts and still talking about something? No, but they are eating facts. So at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered for him anyway. But in terms of what people say, that won't get flagged, or having some, people are conscious of, not getting reported or going to, what they deem Facebook jail, for acting out on different things, So if that's going to go, then what are their measures? How do they measure what's outrageous, and the more serious, how do they define that? Because now we're living under somebody's definition of what's okay to report.
Right. I would take a guess. I'll take a stab at it. If it is pro them, or something crazy enough that they think some kind of way they can utilize to further their cause, it's allowed. If it is the truth with a bit of sarcasm against them, that's over the line.
True. So that don't work two ways. That's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And there's another video that I didn't download where, and I think it's it's him, it's Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan. So you can look at that on TikTok or whatever. And what he says is they were going too far with the fact checking. They wanted me to say things, they wanted me to block things like there was a meme. They wanted me to say things that weren't true. And then he talked about them wanting to block a meme that was sarcastic, but the meme wasn't true. So what are you saying? They wanted you to fact check a meme that wasn't true, but it was sarcasm. Oh, but if it was sarcasm against your guy, then you might have complied.
Because who's they?
He said that Biden's team called him, hundreds of people from Biden's team called him. Now, he said he doesn't have the recordings.
Right.
Of course not.
Every big
Mr. Tech doesn't have a recording.
They record everything. Come on.
Right.
He said, but there's emails. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I got a lot of a lot of the fact check stuff right around the time that they were doing the vaccines, right? Because you guys know, well, maybe not you, Gigi, but I was a big and don't do that crap, and then we've had, folk on the show that spoke about the vaccines and what they were really about. And every time I would post something, I learned how to post where it wouldn't get flagged finally after all that time. But every time I would post, it would pop up. It would pop up. It would pop up. Does that apply for us too now? Because if he's doing it with Facebook, he also owns Instagram
and stuff.
So
and Threads.
And Threads. It's all part of the same. Yeah. So at that point, so if they're gonna if they're gonna do away with it, then that means I can go back to posting what I really think about certain things.
So
right?
There's a guy,
as long as it's not against them.
But there's a guy who did a TikTok.
JG.
I'm just saying.
There's a guy who did a TikTok who said that he gets paid to, do TikTok, to do things on Instagram, to do reels or whatever, because he has such a high following. If he gets over 1,000 and something likes, that's when he gets paid on each of these things, right? So since this last Zuckerman thing, he posted, Zuckerman did 9/11. And he received like 2,000 and something 100,000 likes. And he said Zuckerman is now going to pay him for saying that he did 9/11. So I guess you can say what you want, because now he's going to get paid. So yeah.
Wow. All right, back to the playground we go. Back to the playground we go.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I just want to caution everybody. You will be getting monitored. I mean, this stuff is going to be monitored when you go anti them. Yeah. Just understand that. I don't know what that could mean. But if he is, what we know about him is that he looks up to and admires these strong men, right? In these dictatorships in communist countries. These guys that he admires are people who will put down any adversaries. Mm-hmm. He will put you down. They will put you down. If you speak against, if you march, if you protest, or if you're known to be, and I'm not necessarily trying to scare anybody, but I'm just trying to say, be cautious. Wait and see. Wait and see, because he's gonna do. He may, not him, but because he don't do shit, right? Lady Eloise. There's a reason why we're saying Lady Eloise. But the people who wrote those documents that Gigi talks about, Project 2025, those are going to be the people really in charge.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do it under his seal, the presidential seal. They're going to do the shenanigans. There are some really crazy smart people, like, those diabolical madmen that we've always seen in those horror movies. Those guys. Those are the guys that wrote Project 2025. Those are the guys. It's a criminal empire. When you look at the people that he's putting in place, all of them are either fucking crazy, crooks, essays. They've been in jail. He pardoned some
drug addicts,
I mean, just crazy, just crazy. It's diabolical. And so when people like that get power, they're dangerous. They're very dangerous. So I would ask that you just wait and see, watch and see. Don't just wait and see.
Well, I think we can't talk about all our moves either.
Exactly. Not on this platform.
Not on any platform.
Not right.
Not any platform.
Okay. See. Okay. Can I say something? Please. Pop just brought up what I wanted to say. So y'all do notice that Vance has been very quiet, right? So
yes,
This is my own, and I ran this by Jaji. This is my own. So you can put up that thing, Pop, my own assessment of what is going to happen here. If y'all notice just how quiet he's been, these people know that chaos is crazy. They know his brain is fried, that he has no sense of anything. And they're just letting him go and do whatever. This is where I am. They're waiting to get him in, swear him in. You do know that they took Vance under their wing a long time ago. You looking at a man who literally had best friends that were gay, his best friend when he was in the hospital with her when she transitioned, where they was at weddings together, they hung out, family, everything. To now you ready to ban LGBT, you want to get rid of this, get rid of that. I mean, he was totally,
he was also
right, totally flipped, right? So this is my thing. They're going to get rid of him. And I say that meaning they're going to write him out based on this that we all know and take over. That's why you haven't seen Vance. He's just sitting back because he's already said, we are waiting for our time to remove him from office. You ain't got to worry about it. We all know this motherfucker's crazy. We need you to just sit back and relax. You are the person we put in this place for a reason, because he is going to do everything that he wrote in that forward for them. Everything that he said that he was going to do, that he has backed up, that we have seen in. Come on now. That's just my take on it. I don't know if y'all want to agree with me or not.
I have take two. Take two is that he got in trouble. CIA or FBI or some shit behind the scenes, and he's squealing like a pig.
Nah,
that's my take on it.
I think he is. I wholeheartly double down on everything you said, Gigi. I've been saying that this ain't even about Eloise. Eloise is the distraction. They finna give Eloise some things though, because she ain't gonna do it for nothing. All right.
No, so they gave us some hamburgers.
They gave us some things, you know, they're gonna give her a little war or two, you know what I mean? So she can generate some capital and, you know, and do what she do. But in terms of that seat, if she's there a year, I'd be surprised.
Exactly.
I'd be surprised.
Yep.
I just think that he's being too quiet.
I'm telling you why. That's why.
But he wouldn't have to be quiet for that.
They're going to 25th Amendment him. They're going to 25th Amendment him.
But why does Vance have to be quiet now for them to 20?
He's studying the playbook. That's all he's doing.
Yeah.
He wrote the playbook.
No, they got other stuff they got in the works for him. He is their puppet. They literally, you know, if he reminds me of, y'all remember that movie?
I agree
that
with that.
movie from I told you, the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yo, for real, that's what I feel like with Vance. He literally was taken from being this person, put over here, came back a totally new, like, yo, what happened to you? They literally body snatched that mother.
He has no soul. He's a man with no soul. That's the thing. That's the thing with him. He's a man with no soul.
All for purchase.
All for purchase. And
I don't know who they would put in
I
as
do
the
agree.
VP.
Let me just say this. I do agree that if he sits in that seat, he will do what they want him to do. But I just think something else is going on behind the scenes with him, because he likes attention with his awkward ass, and he is really just following the playbook that they wrote for him a long time ago, and he is just on.
He's in meetings. He's in meetings.
Yes.
He knows. Okay, this is already. You know, it's going down. Okay. And I have to be in the meetings and prepared. I don't have time to be out there front facing no more, because I can't. There's nothing else to do. We already got it. So
the other thing is that, as we all know, the vice president is never out front and focused.
I know,
as we know, but watch.
I mean, if Trump gets put out, obviously
25th.
obviously he takes over. So that's not like, and we already know he wrote the. We already know he wrote the forward for Project 2025. So
we fitting to see him up front. We fitting to see a VP up front now.
Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
They're gonna 2-5 Trump's ass, and I just want to know who the hell. My thing is, I'm trying to figure out how.
You know what? They will not. They can't. If they do. If they use.
And
okay,
will.
so if Vance does that,
and
he will not be accepted by those MAGAs.
Yes, he will.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. They want Lady Eloise. So he can pull strings and do all the real work, but Lady Eloise got to be sitting up there, or somebody else, maybe Congress, maybe Congress. Or somebody else has to do that in order for Vance to be successful as the president. Because these people, this whole cult is about him. It's not about any policy.
But it's really not about him, Javon. I don't believe it's him. It's the message that he brings. It could have been any other white face that would have did everything that made it so that these people did what they want to bring back nationalism and all that.
This is it right here. He's the new Dick Cheney. But Cheney ran everything during the Bush administration while Bush was still there. But this is the thing. Think Jim Jones, right? Mm-hmm. That's the cult. It's the same thing. Jimmy? Nobody else could, if somebody was to go against Jim Jones, that cult would have attacked whoever went against them, just like they did with Pence, just like they would do with anybody. You can't. I
don't know.
He will be running things. I agree with that. He will be doing all of that. But I just really doubt that these people wearing those red hats are. What's she whispering about? How you know? How you say hi?
We know, because you like.
No, I mean, damn. You're breaking my
your flow.
Your flow. But anyway, we'll see. I mean, nobody can predict the future, but it may be that they'll 25 him, but it has to be Congress and the House of Representatives or something like that to get him out. And then he can take over and say, on behalf of Lady Eloise, I stand before you to follow the footsteps. You know, it has to be still with honor to that, because that is what the red hat is about.
Of
course.
It'll be all he ever cares about.
It'll be all that stinking stuff it'll be all the stinking stuff we despise. He's going to edify Eloise. He's going to say, you know, everything is going to be led with President Eloise, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, but it ain't going to be about, Eloise was crazy, girl.
No.
But that's what you have to do.
The 2-5,
you have to say, look, this person is unfit.
They're going to have him do it.
And they're going to have other people do that. It will not be him. I'll tell you that much.
It's the way. It's not so much what, it's the way. You could say, you know, for medical reasons. You could say for whatever. You could say for a whole lot of things. You can tell the truth about. Have we not watched Scandal?
His pampers ain't holding no more. Like,
wait. That's the thing. That's the thing. So, thank God, I've never been that close. And allegedly,
forgot about that.
Allegedly, there's some funk.
Some what?
Funk. A lot of funk.
And
Mr. Diaper Pants.
Obama.
Yes.
Obama sat next to him but he's good with toddlers.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's good with toddlers. Stinky diapers.
So what is this 56,000% return on a $250 million investment in the felons campaign? What is that about, Nathan? You have to school us.
You invested something that you got a major return?
Let me tell you, my other part of this goes to believing that they're going to try to figure a way to get Muskrat. He's already in control. I'm telling you, these people love him too. That's what I'm saying. Like that one there is the Antichrist. That one.
Fix them cars and charging stations. That's all I know. He better do something about his product out here in these streets looking crazy.
How you gonna do that with that daggone ketamine? All of you see every time you say he's a. Like, what is wrong with you?
Allegedly.
Take your no, he is on ketamine. He has said it multiple times. They need to go. He need to fix his dosage or something. Like these are out here jumping around and all black. What is wrong with you? Like, these people are crazy. They are weird.
Just insanity.
They're weird. Like, I've never seen. Yes. After the election, crazy. His wealth went all the way up. It did.
Okay, people, party people. I have to shift over to Black history. We can't have a show without educating the people. Okay, no, Jesus, here we go again. Every single time must we go through this?
You can count that as your net worth, Nathan? I thought that the political campaign funds were something different. You couldn't count them in your net worth. That's interesting.
All right, here we go.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Charlotte Hawkins Brown.
Each of the 27 historic sites in North Carolina offers a unique snapshot of the state's past. Just east of Greensboro, there's a one-of-a-kind site that tells a unique story of a woman on a mission to change the world through education.
Dr. Brown, what she did just at the turn of the 20th century, at a time when racial terror was certainly at one of its heights historically, she created an oasis space. It's quite a miracle that she was able to do this as a Black person, but certainly as a Black woman and a Black Southern woman in a Southern community during an era of intense and legal segregation.
But exactly who was this pioneering woman?
Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown was born in Henderson, North Carolina, and with one of the great migration stories north, her family did end up making home in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And one moment of inspiration resulted in her coming back south to work to educate young people here in what is now Sedalia, North Carolina.
This is where Dr. Brown founded a school to educate young African Americans.
Here at the Charlotte Hawkins Brown Museum, we are telling several stories. One of the stories that we're telling is of historic Palmer Memorial Institute, which was a college preparatory boarding school for African Americans.
The Palmer Memorial Institute, named after former Wellesley College president Alice Freeman Palmer, opened its doors in 1902. It operated as a boarding school with students and some faculty living on campus.
This was a place that was extremely vibrant. We had students from all over the world.
According to Lanier, the education received at the Institute was world-class, with many of its students going off to do great things.
We had students that certainly went on to become educators, just like Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown. Some students went into medicine. Some students went into military careers. Some went into music careers, and some went into politics.
But the impact of the institution went well beyond the campus.
We can see the influence of Dr. Brown on, Black land ownership, entrepreneurship, business ownership, a sense of leadership and autonomy in determining how one lives a life. And then we see that ripple effect all over the world.
Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown led the school for a half a century. During that time, she showed some hardcore determination to build a unique learning environment for students.
The legacy that she built is really on par with many small colleges. She was someone who attracted the attention of donors and artists, civic leaders, educators, politicians. Eleanor Roosevelt visited the campus. The poet Langston Hughes spent time here working with students. Josephine Baker came here.
And much of that fundraising was done right here in Canary Cottage, Dr. Brown's home.
When you walk into the home, you will immediately get a sense of the purpose of the home. It was a place for hosting. It was a place for talking to donors. It was a place where she could have her mother, maybe some students, visiting artists, and dignitaries stay.
And at times, one particularly famous American musician would visit the house.
Nat King Cole married into Dr. Brown's family and became, of course, a really beloved part of the family. We have images of Nat King Cole playing the piano that still is right here in Canary Cottage.
Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown retired in 1952 and passed away in 1961. She's buried on campus near her beloved Canary Cottage. The school itself, though, closed in 1971. But Lanier says this campus still has a place in educating those who walk these grounds.
We really hope that this will also be a community anchor that connects to all of the needs that we have to walk, to move, to learn, to bring back some of the life of the school.
In 2021, the school received a grant of more than $480,000 from the National Park Service, with the goal of doing further restoration on the student center known as the Tea House. The funding comes from a program specifically targeting the preservation of African American history. With the continued investment and the hard work of the staff, the legacy of the Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown Museum will continue enriching the lives of visitors for years to come. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terces reporting.
We hope you
Very nice.
That was nice.
Yeah, I thought it was relevant. That message of when you see that something is missing in the world, something is needed, create it.
Mm-hmm.
Create it. She died, she gained her wings, I should say, January 11th, 1961. And Sam Moore, one half of the Sam and Dave duo throughout the 1960s, they hit their stride, and the pair released R&B hits, including Hold On, I'm Coming, I Thank You, and Soul Man. The original duo were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992. In 2019, the duo received the Lifetime Achievement Grammy Award in 2019. Moore survived by his wife Joyce, their daughter Michelle, and grandchildren Tosh and Misha. So yeah, it's important that we celebrate the lives of those who enrich the lives of those we love, including ourselves, because of people like Sam and Dave, who gave us rhythm and blues, and people like the good doctor, Charlotte Hawkins Brown, who understood the importance of educating our people and, passed it on. And who knows how we were impacted by her life and her legacy. How do we know who created what leaving her school? Why is it that I just found out about her this week when I was researching what happened on January 11th in the Black community?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I should have known about her, being that I think education is so damn important, right?
Well, you know about her now, and your eyes are still open. So,
and when you know better, you do better. When when I become educated, I educate others. Hold On was written by Isaac Hayes, and his son has a social media platform called Fanbase. And yes, I was talking to Gigi about that platform, and it's good. It's a fledgling. It's new. It's up and coming, so definitely I'm gonna support it. Unfortunately, right now it can't do the things that I need done for this show, but I'm looking forward to using it more often. I also started using Blue Sky. I'm trying to get familiar with the other platforms that are out there that are not beholden to Lady Eloise.
I think it's time for us to support platforms that uplift marginalized populations and hold space for them.
Absolutely. Fan base being one of them, I think.
Fan base does. It is majority.
Blue Sky is also a place that people are running to.
Is that Black owned?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who owns it, but if it's it seems to be socially conscious more so, and DEI friendly.
Okay.
For me, and this is just my opinion, a thing does not have to be Black owned per se for me to not patronize. What's the word? You know what I mean? Patronize. No. Whatever. In order for me to use it, as long as they create spaces and hold spaces for people like me and others, as long as they are not amongst those who wish me harm. We have to be careful to stop spending money in places that mean us no good. Why, if somebody wants to chop off your leg, why would you give them a hacksaw? I don't understand it. Look into Isaac Hayes III and his legal interactions with Captain Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that there was a thing he told them to stop playing some music written by Isaac Hayes. He was using at his rallies, and so he told them, don't do it, no sir. And I think he actually won some money for suing him for using
I think they did. It was Isaac Hayes. I don't know if he was just arbitrarily just playing stuff. I mean, it's always his people. You know what I mean? It's never him directly. He doesn't do much of anything but run his mouth. But the idea that that they did that without thinking that they would have to pay folks or be at the very least, given the right to do that.
That's just,
He don't care.
People. Blue Sky Social is owned by CEO Jay Graber and other employees of the company. Blue Sky is a privately owned for-profit corporation and a public benefit corporation, PBC. This means that Blue Sky can use its profits for the public good rather than maximizing shareholder value, that's a good thing. And there are a list of artists and creators who have asked CC, Captain Chaos, not to use their music. Absolutely. Every time, and it's so funny for them to be so anti-LGBTQ, so homophobic, they love to use YMCA.
That's his favorite song.
It is. And he'd be like, It's fun to me.
That's the slap to the face.
Like, dude, first of all, you're using YMCA. Secondly, you're talking about Arnold Palmer's schlong, and I couldn't believe the size of that thing. Ooh, really?
Oh my!
Tell me more about his dick, why don't you? I mean, like, come on, no, for real. I'm the last one to hate, but come on. If you appreciate it, just say it. It's fun to be.
Awkward. Right.
Yo, everybody, it has been real. Love you all to pieces. Shout out to Cy Smith if you are on Instagram, please follow her. She is actually doing a show and all the proceeds, and I don't have the information right here, but she is doing a show soon and very soon, and the proceeds will be going to help those affected by the California fires.
Yes.
So S.Y. Smith, the lady can sing.
Yes.
She is.
And happy belated birthday. We love it.
And happy belated birthday.
Happy belated.
All right, with that, let's make it do what it do. Y'all have a great week.
Good week, everyone.
Stay warm. Love.
Light.
Music.
Love.
Energy.
Change.
Melody.
Melody. The first thing that came to me, honestly, is my sister, because that's her name, and she's been blowing up my phone because her son just got into Howard. My nephew, yeah, shout out to my nephew Carl.
All right.
If you see me looking down at my phone, it's because my sisters and my brothers, we're all on this thread, and everybody's like, congratulations. And my sister wrote, where the money reside, because now she's going to have 2 kids at Howard.
Nice.
That's
nice. Congrats, Carl. That's what's up. Congrats.
So I guess the word association would be sister.
Okay. So then I'll go here. I'll go here. Family.
Home.
Life.
Life. The first word that came to me is air. That's kind of abstract, but that's what came to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Javon, you're up next.
I'm afraid of your words.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm already afraid.
No, I never got that reaction before. Thank you, Sai. I actually like that reaction. All right, you ready?
I am.
Personality.
The first word that came to me is fluctuating. I don't know why. That's a weird word, but fluctuating is what came to me.
Fire.
Can I say air again? Because that's what happened.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay. All right. Air is what came to me.
Possibility.
Opportunity.
Harmony.
Harmony. The first word that came to me, honestly, was hug. Because I saw harmony like this. I saw it. And so hug is what came to me.
Oh, it's pretty deep. It's probably why I can't harmonize, but yeah.
Well, that's how harmony feels. Like good harmony feels like that. Like, you know, when you hear like Take 6 or somebody and you're like, ooh, that feels like a hug.
That is something. Beauty.
Color is what comes to me.
Sigh.
I guess laughter.
Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both for having me.
Absolutely.
Give my word that I normally would give, which is Shaka Khan, but you know.
That's a great word. That's a great word.
Shaka Khan.
Legendary.
And that's a good answer.
What's up, everybody? This is Cy Smith, and you are in the basement with Javon and Therese. In the basement with Javon and Therese. In the basement with Javon and Therese. With the basement, hey, with Javon and Therese.
Ooh, I dig that.